What is up, everybody? It's your boy Shazwiyt, and welcome back to another video. Thank you for joining me yet again, and thank you so much for your continued support. If you're new to this channel and you're clicking on me for the very first time, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and also turn on that post notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a video. With that being said, let's get straight into today's content. Okay, I feel like you guys at this point know my intro, like you're getting like how things flow around here, so feel free to say it with me on the other side as a viewer. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay, I'm being extra. Let me stop. So today I'm going to be talking about sexuality. I'm going to be talking about like the LGBTQ community, my thoughts on it, my thoughts on my own sexuality, how do I identify, and all that kind of stuff. And basically addressing my ignorance and addressing just all that related stuff. It's a really good topic to talk about. It's pretty controversial and a very touching, poignant topic. So, I just thought let's get into it today. You know what I mean? I hope everybody's doing well, and let's get into this discussion. So LGBTQ, or the full abbreviation, which is about like 10 letters long or something, which is LGBTQIAAP, bruh, which stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, transsexual, queer, questioning, intersex, asexual, ally, pansexual. This term, has been the term that's been used to, define a community of those people who are basically not straight, basically non-heterosexual. And LGBT was a term that was first used like in the 1990s, in 1996. Prior to that, obviously, there were lesbians and gays and all that stuff, but there wasn't really a term to unify everybody. And so it was in the 90s that people decided, well, let's just give it a whole sort of collective, name to put all together, LGBT, that. Basically, for anyone who does not identify as straight, is what this is for. So I, for one, am someone who at one point was very ignorant. I was a very closed-minded individual. For anyone who is not aware, I am Christian. And so growing up as a Christian, I was initially Catholic, and then I became Pentecostal at one point. And this was also shaped by the schools I went to. So I went to a Catholic school as well, then I went to a Christian school. Catholic is Christian, but I'm trying to make the distinction. Anyway, going to these schools and being Christian in general, you're taught to sort of hate a lot of things or be against certain things. You're taught that if someone doesn't fit a certain standard, they are less than, they are not holy, they are not worthy. And I saw how judgmental Christians can be, and just the hostility that people, especially who are lesbian, gay, etc., experience, because it's like, well, that's not part of God's plan. You know what I mean? According to my religion or what I believe in, it's wrong. So clearly you're sinning. Like, your life is a whole sin. Like, you should be ashamed of yourself. Like, how dare you? And it's so funny because people often forget that they are gay Christians, they are lesbian Christians, there are people like that. It's not like they're two exclusive things. You can be both, you know what I mean? And it's just sad. And I'm hesitant to admit that I was one of those people. I was judgmental as if, you know what I mean? And I even got into a few debates with some people over that and lost a friendship, which I recently mended. But it was like, it gets heated when it comes to these discussions, especially with the whole controversial topic of, are you born gay or is it something that comes later? It's it's definitely a very controversial thing that still is being talked about. And definitely there are a lot of people sort of like me in the world, or worse, who need clarification on certain things, because you tend to act hostile towards things that you fear. Like when you don't understand something, you fear it. And when you fear it, you tend to separate it, ostracize it. You put it in this corner. And you want to make sure that the label is emphasized, to make sure that no one else or anyone else who is like that is automatically put into that label and that label alone. And that's, why sort of this discussion keeps coming about and why there's contention. Because there's this big question of, okay, is sexuality, is your sexual orientation, is it binary, whereby it's like you're either this thing or you're that thing or you're this thing, or is it a spectrum where like you may be this but you're also a little bit of this or a little bit of that, like, you know so yeah, I definitely find it interesting as the years have gone by, trying to do more research, and also the fact that I'm surrounded by people who are also part of the LGBTQ community, people who are trans, people who are, you have lesbians, the gays, people who identify as asexual. I have a friend who I know is asexual, and I'm learning about, what that means. Pansexual and all that stuff. So it's really interesting to learn about that. And it only just like yesterday or so, I learned what queer means, because I thought like queer was the same as gay or lesbian. I was like, what the heck does queer mean? And queer, from what I googled, basically means you're someone who doesn't know their sexual identity. You're still sort of like trying to see what you want to identify as or what you think you are. I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's a lot of just strange things, and not strange in the condescending way, like, oh, like because you're gay you're strange. Like, no, just strange in the sense that this is just all very confusing. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to digest, but at the end of the day, I think the important thing is to be supportive of people, supportive of what they choose to do with their lives. And as long as you are happy, as long as you're happy with yourself and whoever you choose to be with, then how could I be against it? How could I be against you expressing yourself and living your best life? As long as you're not hurting anybody, then, there's nothing wrong. Do what you need to do, or what you want to do. So in regards to my own sexuality, how I feel is, so I, for the most part, identify as straight, but even though I do identify as straight, I know I'm not 100% straight, because I wouldn't say I'm 100% straight, because and this is why I agreed that, sexuality is a spectrum and not a binary thing. I would say I'm straight, but then also at the same time, it's like I do acknowledge attraction in all different people. Like if I see a guy and I see that he is physically attractive, I will acknowledge that. I've never felt an emotional attraction to anyone of the opposite sex. I've never had the urge to date another guy, or to be like, oh, let me tap his ass or something like that. Like, no, I don't look at, I've never really seen or like looked at a guy and be like, and sort of sexualize them and be like, oh, they're fine, so I want to like get a piece of that. I want to be with them. I want to marry them. I want to have his babies. I want to do. No, it's never like that. It's just more of like, if I see you and you look good, you're fine or whatever, I will acknowledge that, but not from a perspective of like, I want to date you or I want to be with you. No, it's just more of, I'm acknowledging that you are attractive, that you are physically attractive, that you're pleasing to my eyes, and that's it. You know what I mean? And I just feel like there's just so much toxic masculinity whereby guys aren't able to sort of be like, they aren't able to acknowledge things of each other. You aren't able to say certain things without another guy being like, pause, or are you gay, or all of this stuff. And not just from other guys, from women too. It's like, as a man, you're expected, or as a boy, you're expected to fit these certain standards of what masculinity is and what it means to be a man and all of this kind of stuff. Some of it I do agree with, like in terms of just being someone who is strong and, just as a man and as a human being in general, there are certain things we want all for ourselves. But also at the same time, it's all very toxic. And what I love about the LGBTQ community and seeing, drag queens and gay guys and all of these different kinds of men and metrosexuals is that you start to see that there isn't one definition of what a man is or of what a woman is. There's so many different expressions. And it further emphasizes like how unique we all are from each other. And that you don't have to fit into a certain box to be something. I am a man just as much as a drag queen is a man, as much as Jeffree Star is a man, as much as as much as Elton John is a man, etc., etc. You know what I mean? Or RuPaul or whatever. Like, be who you want to be. Like, there isn't just one way of saying you're like this. Like express yourself whatever way you want to be. And if people don't understand you or judge you, just be your best self and live your life and ignore those people. Or educate those people. You know what I mean? Try to educate them on their ignorance, and if they still choose to be ignorant after that or still choose to spew hate or be shady towards you, then that's them. Leave them. Continue to live your best life and do your own thing, you know what I mean? Because also one of the reasons why I also relate to this whole discussion of LGBTQ is because so many people throughout my life assume that I'm a girl when they first see me and that I'm not a guy, and it's so frustrating, and it's actually gotten me into some really sticky, awkward situations. So yeah, I definitely relate to this. And but yeah, for the most part, I would say that I am straight. I would identify as straight. But if you are attractive, I will acknowledge that. Yeah, because the thing with this whole sexual orientation is there are two parts of it. There is like, would you date this person? The people that you are willing to date, and the kind of people that you are genuinely like physically attracted to. And then it begs the question of what does it mean to be attracted to someone? You know what I mean? Like, the actual power of evoking interest, pleasure, or liking for someone or something. Like, I don't know. It's all up in the air at this point. I even saw a meme, and I'll show it to you. I'll put it up if I find it, where basically talked about the twin towers and gender. It's so funny. I'll put it up here for you guys. It was just so funny. But basically, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Was just share my thoughts on the LGBTQ community, which I do support, by the way. I support whatever it is you choose to do. Even though I'm Christian and I will think that, whether or not I think it's a sin, it doesn't even matter. At the end of the day, how I feel is express yourself, live your best life. God loves everyone. Love each other, love one another. Celebrate each other's happiness, and whoever someone sleeps with at the end of the day literally has nothing to do with you. Get your 8 hours of sleep and I'll get mine. Okay? Okay. Let's do it. But yeah, that's basically today's discussion, guys. Didn't want to make this too long. I won't be posting a video tomorrow. I've got quite a busy weekend ahead of me, but I will post this weekend at some point. I'll try. But I'm actually working this weekend, making a little bit of money. Got an opportunity. So that's awesome, which is why I wanted to post today. But anyway, love you guys. Hope you have a blessed day. And with that being said, stay tuned for the next video. And I am out. Shazwiyt gang. Okay.